Hey guys, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I'm excited to share with you one of my all-time favorite bloodworm patterns. This one's called the Bloodbank. It's a super easy tie, just involving 3 ingredients. For the thread, I like using Semperfli's Nano Silk in 30 denier. This is an 18-aught that is super thin, extremely durable. For the underbody, I'm using Togen's Crawny Skin in holographic wine. And for the actual rib, the larvae lace nymph rib in blood red just shines. It looks so much like the originals. It's not even funny. For the hook, you can use any hook that you like, but I really like these Togen's barbless scud hook in size 10. It's got a really wide gape and increases your hookup efficiency, as well as with the barbless feature you can quickly release fish without any permanent damage and leave them in the lake for other fishermen to have fun catching. So, a priest, a minister, and a rabbit walk into a blood bank. While in the waiting room, the nurse comes out and asks each of them, "What blood type are you?" The priest goes first and he says, "Oh, I'm blood type A." Then she turns to the minister. He says, "Oh, type AB positive." And she turns to the rabbit, and the rabbit says, I think I'm a typo." Naturally, I've called this pattern the blood bank. So to start your thread off, you want to tie in that underbody rib just back far behind the bend. So you're going to create a little tag end underneath this tail. And then using a lighter, you can ignite just the end of this larvae lace nymph rib and press it against a flat surface. In this case, I've just used my vise. Get a nice flattened section, and then you can trim that just to look like a little tail. These bloodworms have a little split tail at the back. And get that position. This is the tricky part. Get it positioned just right. You just want a couple of millimeters of that tail sticking out the end, and then just loosely wrap that nano silk just to hold it into place. And once you're happy with that, give it just a securing rib in front of the larvae lace, and then do the same thing. Leave a little bit of a gap. It's going to imitate one of their natural little rib sections, and then go ahead and get your thread worked back up to the eye of this hook. And then I always like just to do a little security whip finish. Just 2 turns is all that you need to hold that into place, and then you can get that out of the way so you're not messing around with it into the bobbin cradle there. Go ahead and grab the crawny skin, give it a couple of wraps just underneath that tail, and then wind it up. Make sure to watch out for the hook point. These barbless scud hooks are super sharp. They will sever that if you're not careful. And once you're out of harm's way here, the rotary feature of the vise really does a nice, quick, and easy job to get that pretty seamless. And then you'll want to just secure that crawny skin with a couple of wraps in behind and in front. I should mention a little word to the wise. As you're using this Semperfli Nano Silk, it is extremely durable thread, but you don't want to use your good scissors for this, as it will dull them over time. In this case, I'm using my Dr. Slick all-purpose scissors, but you can also use a little razor blade. And now to the important part. So as you're starting this rib up the body of this fly, you want to make sure to just pinch the initial tail and first couple of wraps with your finger, and then make sure that you're pulling this larvae lace nice and tight. It seems to get more translucent the thinner it's stretched, but you want to make sure that that tail doesn't slip around on you. Once we finish this fly, we're going to use some UV resin on the head and the tail, and it will fill in the little gaps there. My tail's a little sloppier on this one, but you guys get the general idea of this fly. Just want to talk for a second about how to effectively fish this fly and bloodworms in particular. So in any lake that you're seeing the fish feeding right off the bottom, chances are they're digging through the mud looking for these tasty little bloodworm morsels. So you want to make sure that you use either your hemostats or a little weight to get your leader right off the bottom, and then suspend this fly either in the mud or slightly above that, and fish will come in and gobble these things up. They're like candy to them, and this pattern in particular seems to drive them pretty crazy. Once you get to the head of this fly, make sure to give a couple of really secure wraps along that last portion of the larvae lace, and then just trim off the excess there. And then I go ahead and whip finish it, and then you can build up just a little bit of a head and trim the thread away. The natural bloodworms have a little black head on them and a little black section at the tail. And then go ahead and use the UV resin of your choice and fill in that head and the tail space there. And then give it a zap with your UV light. You want to make sure that you have a quality UV light. In this case, I'm going to be using my Togen's UV light. It makes all the difference with ensuring that this UV resin cures properly and doesn't become cloudy. And then any last finishing touches for this fly, I like to add a little red Sharpie to really give it a nice greasy looking sheen. And that's pretty much it, guys. A nice simple tie. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my supporters out there, Semperfly, Togen's Fly Shop, and Broken Tippet. Please go check those websites out, guys. They have some incredible products, whether it's fly tying gear, fly tying materials, or just some pretty sweet apparel. Go check them out.